Hello students, today we are going to do argumentative essays where you have to state your point that why I am right. Okay, so students, what are the objectives of this lecture? After going through this lecture, you will be able to research on topic and can pen down your views for or against it. You will be able to know how to write argumentative essays. You will be able to get an idea of how to cover maximum points in your essay. Now students, keep in mind one thing, that word limit for essay is different for different classes. For 8th, 9th and 10th, word limit is 300 to 350 words. And for classes 11 and 12, the word limit is 400 to 450 words. Now here are some key points to keep in mind. Number 1. Argumentative essay is a piece of writing that takes a stance on an issue. Although you will be exploring both the arguments for and against, you need to pick one to side with. So basically students, we know that there are two aspects of argumentative essay. One is for and another is against. So you need to take a stand on one issue. Your introduction should be short and simple. So if I talk about what could be the elements of your essay, so number 1 is your introduction. So it should be short and simple. The reader should have to guess which side you are standing on, which means basically you are going to clear your side. Using one or two sentences, express your stand in an unambiguous manner. Unambiguous, clear, that clearly delivers the message you are trying to convey. So students, you need to convey there in your introduction part only that whether you are in favor or against your point. Okay, so coming up to the body, the key point to keep in mind while writing body, the body is the bulk of your essay and is where you should spend the most time and effort writing. Make sure to start thinking about these pointers as early as the planning stage. So basically students, we will be discussing about the points also later on. So what you need to do before writing your essay, you also need to jot down some points, okay, and it is going to help you, it is going to reduce your time. So it will save you a lot of trouble of having insufficient content to write about or undeveloped ideas. So students, what happens when we are not jotting down any point, any tentative point. So what happens, we're having no clue what to write. So it is going to save us when you will be jotting down the points at the earlier stage only. So it is going to save lots of time and it's going to save you from the trouble of writing the content. Okay. So there should be 3 to 5 points in the body of your essay. Okay. So students, coming up to the conclusion, finally, your essay is coming to an end, but don't think that you should slack off or you could make some less effort. Don't think that. Now, having a strong conclusion is important to leave a lasting impression on the reader and drive home your points. So this is the time when you are going to repeat your point also, and this is the time when you are going to write the conclusion of your essay, when you are summing up your essay, summing up all your points. Using a few sentences, briefly summarize your entire argument and link it back to your essay. This helps bring the argument full circle and reminds the reader what your stand is. Now coming up to the sample essay for today. So the sample essay for today is, no country can avoid natural disasters, but their impact can be minimized. So now let's begin. Using these hints, you can frame the sentences and you'll be getting an idea how to write an essay. Students, we know that there are always two sides of coin, and as I've already told you, in argumentative essay we have two aspects. One is for and the other is against. So you can jot down both aspects in rough and then can choose wisely the one in which you have more points with better stats available. So let's discuss both aspects of this essay. Now coming up for, so students, first of all, as I've told you in the introduction part, you are going to introduce your topic. So our topic is about natural disasters. So you will be writing here what are natural disasters. Then it has been observed that disasters wreak quite havoc and take the victims by surprise. So students, these are basically 3 points with the help of which you can frame a full sentence, a full paragraph. So here, See, I have written these meanings in red. So reek means cause or damage. Havoc means a state in which everything is out of order or disarray. So it has been observed that disasters wreak quite havoc and take the victims by surprise, because obviously nobody predict. Mostly these disasters are not predicted. So what generally happens, it takes the victims by surprise. So next point is can be tackled and handled quite safely with the help of technology. So it's not like it cannot be controlled or it cannot be tackled. We can easily tackle them with the help of technology. Now, natural disasters that struck India take a very heavy toll of human life. So students, here you can give an example of your own country, that how these disasters have taken a very heavy price of human life and property, and it could easily have been averted. Averted means prevented from damage or precluded, right? So now students, you can also give them example. So what are the examples to state your point? So here, harmful impacts of Bhuj earthquake on January 26, 2001. Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami in 2004, flash floods in Kedarnath in 2013, many avalanches. So avalanches means mass of snow falling rapidly. So basically these are ice storm in the Himalayas, etc., could have been minimized. Students, you must have noticed that I have covered exact date and year to state my point, right? So after this, students, the bitter truth is we as nations are usually quite careless. Need to reset our priorities. Priorities, thing that is regarded as more important. So what is the bitter truth? What is that? We need to face the truth that we as a nation are usually quite careless and we need to reset our priorities. And what should be our priorities? Our priorities should be the safety of our people, of our property, etc. So coming up next on the list is NASA can be looked upon as an ideal role model in this regard. So if I come upon these suggestions, or technological advancements, so here NASA can be looked upon for the same, for the role model. ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, can also play a vital role in predicting natural disasters. So next is the point, that is your conclusion. What is the need of the hour? So need of the hour is that we must set our attitude right. So students, here are some points which are against this aspect. Okay. So students, loss of property is still a problem, and predicting many natural disasters isn't easy. There are still natural disasters that come up rather unexpectedly, such as earthquakes, wildfires, landslides, or even volcanic eruption. So students, you tell me, is predicting every disaster so easy? What about Australia wildfires in 2019? Wildfires are always unpredictable. Though the Australians are developed and have modern technology, but they couldn't save so many animals, properties, life of human, etc. So students, we can say that every disaster is not predictable. So there still, the point is that there can still be many disasters which can occur out of sudden, and you cannot control their impacts. This against point also, you can give some examples, as in about 6,000 people have been killed by tsunami during 1977 to 1986 alone. The impact of cyclones goes far beyond just deaths and building damage. So here you can give examples to state your point. Now students, are we completely prepared, or we really have to accept some facts? We just have to understand, as human beings, our brain just really are not well designed for dealing with making good decisions about events which are rare and are potentially life-threatening. So here basically we are talking about the disasters, which are rare and which are life-threatening. Our human mind is not well prepared for the same. So those checklists are there. So students, the checklist here we are talking about the checklist where we people maintain these checklists for the measures that they can take before earthquake or during earthquake, right? But developing countries like India, so the people over there are too poor to afford everything in the checklist. We tend to ignore worst case scenarios. Now student, coming up to the conclusion, you can write that we are not greater than God here in this conclusion. So we humans begin to think we can master the forces of nature in all forms, but it can't be done. So now students, you can choose wisely that which point you want to cover. So here in this essay we are going to cover the points which are in favor of the aspect, right? Okay, so what are the points that we can cover here in this essay? So number one is quotation. So students, as far as quotation is concerned, you can write quotation anywhere, whether it is beginning or at the end, or with the point you want to emphasize with a quotation. Okay, a quotation in the beginning is always advisable because it makes the beginning of an essay impressive. So children, keep in mind, whenever you are writing the quotation in the beginning, it has to be directly linked with your introduction. Okay, so next comes your introduction part. So here in this, introduce your topic and make it clear whether you are going to write in favor or against the statement. So next is how technology can help in reducing damage. So here students, you can write about all the technology advancements and technological measures that our government has taken to reduce the damage. Then comes your statistic related to the problem. In this point, you can cover all the facts and examples related to your viewpoint. Next is suggestions, how the harmful impacts can be minimized. Here in the suggestions, you can write how these impacts can be minimized, how you can minimize the harmful impacts of disasters. Then comes your conclusion. Here you have to write the gist of your essay. Okay, so coming up to, no country can avoid natural disasters, but their impact can be minimized. So here, to make our beginning attractive, we'll be beginning with the quotation. So Petra Nemko, a famous philanthropist, has very wisely said, we cannot stop natural disasters, but we can arm ourselves with knowledge. So many lives wouldn't have to be lost if there was enough disaster preparedness, right? So what does Petra Nemkova says? She says that we cannot stop natural disasters, but we can be prepared for. We can be prepared for with the knowledge how to lessen the impact. Okay. So before that, I just want you to learn few words: hurricanes, storm with violent wind; tornadoes, violent rotating wind; wreak, causer, damage; havoc, a state in which everything is out of order or disarray. So students, we generally use this word wreak havoc as a single phrase, and the synonym for this you can also use create chaos, right? So a natural disaster is a major adverse event resulting from natural processes of the earth such as floods, hurricanes, earthquakes, tsunamis and tornadoes. It has been observed that these disasters wreak quite havoc when these disasters take the victims by surprise. So what happened generally? So obviously these disasters are not pre-planned, or it is not all the disasters are predicted. So these disasters generally take the victims by surprise. Many people lose their life on account of these natural disasters and catastrophes. Catastrophes means calamities. But they can be tackled and handled quite safely if proper warning and safety measures are taken care of well in advance. So it's not like that you cannot control or you cannot minimize the impact. You can, but if it is tackled safely. So, no country can avoid natural disasters, but its impact can be minimized, and I am in favor of this statement. So, students, as I have told you earlier also, in your introductory paragraph, you are going to introduce your topic and you are going to clearly state that you are in favor or against the statement. So, here is the line, I am in favor of this statement. So, now, what are the technological advancements with the help of which we were and we are able to predict future? So, with all the technological advancement, it is possible now to predict natural disasters well in advance. The weather satellites orbiting the Earth, the early warning systems installed at key locations are already doing wonders in keeping millions of people safe. So students, we often hear these weather predictions. How we can do it? We can do it with the help of these weather satellites, right? So if we talk about our country, India, all the natural disasters that struck India took a very heavy toll. Heavy toll, great damage of human life and property which could have been averted, which could have been really prevented or precluded if Indian government in the past had acted wisely and proactively. For example, so students, whenever you are stating a point, try to give an example or stats which further state your point. For example, if the government had installed early warning systems in tsunami or earthquake-prone areas, harmful impacts of catastrophes such as Bhuj earthquake on January 26, 2001, Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami in 2004, flash floods in Kedarnath in 2013, many avalanches in the Himalayas, etc. could have been minimized. So what we need to accept? Where are we lacking? The bitter truth is we as nation are usually quite careless. We take life for granted. We really need to reset our priorities. Priorities, thing that is regarded as more important. So what should be our priorities? We must be responsible for ensuring our safety. We have the required infrastructure, base, framework, underpinning and resources to be capable of predicting any natural disaster that might strike our nation. So students, safety should be our priority and we should be ready with the required infrastructure. So what are the institutions who are already doing and what else can be done to enhance or make your technology advance? So ISRO, DRDO, BIL, BDL, many scientists, students in colleges, schools and universities can be roped in to persuade or to entice in, inventing newer devices and technologies to predict natural disasters well in advance accurately. So what can be done? So we can involve these institutions and college students to further invent newer devices. We must ensure national and world safety by developing and installing early warning system. NASA can be looked upon as an ideal role model in this regard. So NASA is actually doing much to avoid disasters. We can take NASA as an example. NASA is keeping a very vigilant eye, vigilant means watchful, on some life-endangering comets or meteorites that might be heading towards Earth for collision. So what NASA is actually doing for the same? NASA has made all arrangements to handle the situation in case there is any possibility of such collision. So NASA is already ready, is already prepared in any case of such collision. It has already made some arrangements to handle the situation. So similarly, ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, can also play a vital role in predicting natural disaster. ISRO or ISRO has already launched weather prediction satellites in the space successfully, and because of which only we are able to predict weather. In the recent past, there have been incidents of natural disasters where there was a warning and preparedness, there was less destruction and loss. So it's not like, students, that India is always unsuccessful in predicting future. So there are times when, especially in this recent past, when India was successful and Indian government has given the warning and actually reduced the impact. So to further state my point, recently cyclone was predicted well in time, as a result of which Odisha government took safety measures and much damage and destruction to human life was avoided. So because of this prediction only, Odisha government took safety measures, and what happened, the damage and destruction of human life and property was avoided. Students, in place of destruction you can also write annihilation. Similarly, in Gujarat, cyclone was also predicted well in time. So it's not like India was always unsuccessful. But actually, what we as human are doing, are we prepared? No. What we do? Usually the human being become aware and proactive, that is, try to control only after the tragedy strikes its deadly blow. We get it when damage is already there, then we become aware and proactive, which should not be done. So what is actually the need of the hour? So the need of the hour is that government and people, along with the prediction mechanism, further must work a more and more practical and better way to be prepared for the natural disasters, because it is not the infrastructure and means we lack proper attitude to the disasters. Okay, so we should not be like this, that we become aware only when tragedy strikes its deadly blow. We should have a proper attitude to the disaster. So we must set our attitude right in order to minimize the impact of natural disaster. So students, here in my conclusion, I have again stated my point, and I have also given the suggestion, the final suggestion which could be done. So here in this case, the final suggestion is that we as a people and government should come together and make the prediction mechanism more advanced, so that we can be prepared beforehand only, and we should have a proper attitude for the same. So students, that's all for today. So you can also make more points and more examples. For your homework, children, solve the assignment given to you in your SNAP homework.